Colitis, what is it? How does it form? Is there a cure? And what can I do about it? Well, colitis in its simplest form is ulcers that form across the intestinal lining of your intestine. It is one of the most excruciating conditions that someone can deal with long term. As someone that was first diagnosed when I was 15 years old, I think I'm fairly well versed and somewhat an authority on colitis and its effects. In the simplest form, it is literally like having a lit flame going backwards and forwards across your intestinal wall, or someone with a teeny tiny little pitchfork that is grating across. How does it form? Well, no doctor seems to really know, but from the research that I've done over the past 20 years, I would say that a lot of it is down to the diet, especially here in our Western world. You look at the diet of the young, for example, and there is a rising case annually, semi-annually and biannually, rising cases of young people under 16 years old that are being diagnosed with ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease. Crohn's is something very different, but it's very interesting, our diet and how it's affecting us. Not alone that, but look at the stresses that are now forming on the Western world more than ever before. You've got social media that is commanding that you have a certain presence about you. You've got your friends and your peer groups that demand that you act and look a certain way. You've got your own pressures from school, from family to do well, to succeed in life. And then you've got your own struggles that you're going through. Is it any wonder how when all of these things manifest, they manifest in these really horrific ways? Remember, you become what you think about all the time. You reap what you sow, more than what you sow, and later than what you sow. So what can be done about it? Well, colitis is one of those things that they say there is no cure. However, having explored extensively my diet, exercise, the way that I conduct myself, the way that my body functions, and everything else, I've found that the secret really lies in how I feed my mind. Because if you imagine the mind as the central computer, or as the center of everything that goes on, and your body is the robot that is being moved by the mind, then logically, if you can control your thoughts, you can control the body. Your mind is capable of healing itself. And this has been scientifically, and not only scientifically, but also spiritually concluded over and over and over again. And in videos that are going to be upcoming, we're going to talk about this in greater depth. But for now, you need to know, you need to explore your own life. How much stress are you feeling like you're under? How much pressure are you putting upon yourself to be a success? How much comparison are you doing to other people? Once you know the answer to these questions, you can start to explore. And if it isn't colitis that you deal with, but maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's PTSD, maybe it's bipolar, maybe it's all these other things. Guess what? They all stem from the mind. And it is the mind where they must be treated. But there are occasions where I'm sad to say medication is required. And if you have been diagnosed, make sure, especially for colitis, that you are on a medication that works for you. For a long time, I had medications that didn't work for me. It was called prednisolone. It caused severe mental health side effects. It almost developed in me, in fact, probably did develop in me for a long time, split personality syndrome. But the great thing about it was, when my wife and I realized what was going on and what was happening, we could do something to change that. And thanks to our great health professionals at the NHS, we changed the medication I was on. I'm now on a medication called Pentasa. And I hardly have to use that at all. Not because the medication works so well, or not alone, but also because of how I'm feeding my mind, how I'm feeding my body, what I'm doing, and the fact that I'm aware of all these things. Don't just be a follower of the crowd. If something isn't working for you and something isn't right, it's divine spirit, God, nature, way of telling you, look around. See what you're putting into your body that is not normal, that you're not meant to be putting in there. Once you understand something, you can begin to change it. For more information on this and how you can begin to change 40 of the most common, complex, difficult struggles that people struggle with all the time, click the link in my bio and check out my brand new best-selling book, The Battles We All Face. Subscribe and share for more, and I'll catch you soon.